What's up guys? Today in this video we're going to be going over the Meteor Fire Sword. And it is insanely fun to be able to Tele-Stomp a group of mobs and just instantly delete them. So with this build I'm able to do speed clears on 70s and 80s, I've worked into 90s and 100s. It's a really strong build and it's really fun to play. So we're going to be going over how we're getting our mana, the Tele-Stomp, hearts, gear, Paragon, everything you need to know to get this build online. Let's get into it. So the first thing I wanted to go over is the Tele-Stomp. So make sure whenever you want to Tele-Stomp, you drop a meteor, and then you're going to teleport to that meteor, and at that moment, our chest piece, the Remnant of the Infinite, will pull all surrounding mobs to that meteor impact. Then you will hit Frost Nova and start dropping meteors. So once the first meteor drops, it's going to leave a burn patch on the ground, catching the enemies on fire. While mobs are burning, you do way more damage to them. Then you're going to teleport in, that's going to do damage, and will also proc one of our hearts that we're wearing, the Caged Heart of Revenge. If you have a charge of suppressed damage build up, the teleport will cause it to explode with fire damage, because teleport is a defensive move. Then you will hit Frost Nova, and that damages them and makes them vulnerable. Then you'll drop your second meteor, and all that damage will happen over 2 to 3 seconds. Then that's where the Heart of the Barber comes in. It takes all that damage, times it by 15% per second from the first meteor to the second and all the damage in between, and that's how we get our burst. That's how you Tele-Stomp. Okay, so I'll let you finish watching the clips and then we'll go over hearts, how we're getting our mana, build, Paragon, etc. Okay, so the first heart I wanted to go over is the Caged Heart of the Barber. And the way it works is all the damage you do to the enemy within a certain time frame, depending on your role, is absorbed into the enemy and erupts into surrounding enemies for 14 to 15% per second that it was contained in the enemy. Also, the Heart of the Barber is considered shadow damage. For the second heart we're using is the Caged Heart of Tarasha. And the way it works is for each unique element you deal damage with, you deal up to 12% increased damage for up to 12 seconds, depending on your role. So we're using Meteor, that does fire damage, Ice Blades and Frost Nova, that does our frost damage, and Teleport, that does shock damage. By running the Heart of the Barber, the damage it produces is shadow damage. So that's 4 elements we're using. You add all those 4 elements up, that's 48% more damage for 12 seconds we're getting from this heart. So the third heart we're using is the Caged Heart of Revenge. And the way it works is up to 20% of incoming damage is suppressed. So that's a flat out permanent damage reduction. And then whenever you use a defensive move, the damage it absorbed is amplified by 250% and explodes with fire damage to all surrounding enemies. Teleport, Ice Armor, Flame Shield, Frost Nova, they're all defensive spells. And because it's fire damage, that's just another source that we're going to use to proc our Heart of Tarasha. Okay, let's talk about how we're getting our mana. The first way is through the Prodigies aspect. And the way it works is every time you use a cooldown, it restores up to 25 mana. So whenever you use Ice Blades, Frost Nova, Ice Armor, Flame Shield, or Teleport, because they have a cooldown on it, it will give us back 25 mana. The second way is through Lucky Hit. Now we have a few passives in our skill tree that we're going to take to help with this. The first is Precision Magic. That is going to raise our lucky hit chance by 15%. The second passive we're going to take is Elemental Attunement. That will give us a 15% chance to reset a use cooldown when we crit. And remember, through the Prodigies aspect, every time we use a cooldown, we're getting back up to 25 mana. So we're also using 2 different stats on our gear that will help with getting mana and life back. On our offhand, we have a 5% chance on Lucky Hit to restore up to 21% primary resource. And on our gloves, we have a 5% chance on Lucky Hit to restore up to 1300 life. So if you look at the moves we're using, Meteor has a 58% Lucky Hit chance. And we're also putting Meteor in our enchantment slot. So that's an 8% chance to drop a free Meteor. And that free Meteor is also going to be 58% Lucky Hit chance. Teleport has a 94% lucky hit chance, so it's almost guaranteed that you're going to get a proc on your gloves and offhand to restore your resources. Flame Shield has a 50% lucky hit chance. Do you see where I'm going with this? Lucky hit plays a huge part in gaining resources. So the third way we get mana back is through using Ice Blades. The way it works is Summon Ice Blades gives 20% of enhanced Ice Blades cooldown reduction to all your other skills. So through more cooldown reduction, we can hit more skills more often to proc Prodigy to give the 25 mana back per skill used. The fourth way we're getting mana is through our Umbral aspect. And the way Umbral works is every crowd control you put on an enemy, you get 4 mana back. So Meteor immobilizes enemies, Frost Nova freezes them, and Teleport stuns them. That's 3 CCs you can put on an enemy, giving you back 12 mana. Now let's just say there's 10 enemies you hit with 3 CCs. That's 120 mana you'll get back. Umbral is a very strong source of mana regain. And the last way we're getting our mana back is through stats on our gear. Resource generation, lucky hit, cooldown reduction, mana cost reduction, they're all going to help in the overall process of maintaining your mana. Okay, let's go over the gear. So for the head, we're running Ever Living, make sure you get cooldown reduction on it. For the chest, we're running Remnant of the Infinite. For the hands, we're running Shattered Stars, make sure you get lucky hit on it. For the pants, we're running Disobedience, make them as tanky as you can, make sure you get some Meteor on there. For the boots, we're running Isu's Heirloom. That's going to give us a lot more crit chance the more movement speed we have. For the wand, we're running 3 curses. For the neck, we're running Control. Make sure you get that mana cost on there, Pyro skill, defensive skills, and most important, Devouring Blaze. For the first ring, we're running Umbral. For the second ring, we're running Prodigy. And on both rings, make sure you get Resource, Regeneration, Fire Damage, Lucky Hit. These are all great stats to have on your rings. For the offhand, we're running Conceited, Resource Generation, Lucky Hit, Cooldown, Primary Resource Gain on Lucky Hit. All great stats to have on your offhand. So, for the enchantments, we're running Meteor Enchantment and Fireball Enchantment. For the skills, we are running 1 into Firebolt, 1 into Arc Lash. That's going to get us down to put 1 into Fireball, 1 into Enhanced Fireball, 1 into Greater Fireball, 1 into Devastation, 1 into Elemental Dominance, 1 into Flame Shield, 1 into Enhanced Flame Shield, 1 into Mystical Flame Shield, 5 into Teleport, 1 into Enhanced Teleport, 1 into Shimmering Teleport, 2 into Glass Cannon, 3 into Elemental Attunement, 1 into Ice Armor, 1 into Enhanced Ice Armor, 5 into Frost Nova, 1 into Enhanced Frost Nova, 1 into Mystical Frost Nova, 1 into Ice Blades, 1 into Enhanced Ice Blades, 1 into Summon Ice Blades, 1 into Align the Elements, 3 into Mana Shield, 3 into Protection, 3 into Precision Magic, 5 into Meteor, 1 into Enhanced Meteor, 1 into Wizard's Meteor, 3 into Devouring Blaze, 3 into Inner Flames, and of course, Isu's Ferocity. Okay, for the Paragon, for our first board, we are running Elementalist. For our second board, we are running Burning Instinct with Destruction. For the third board, we are running Searing Heat with Adept. For our fourth board, we are running Enchantment Master with Flame Feeder. For our fifth board, we are running Frigid Fate with Territorial. And for our sixth and final board, we're running Static Surge with Control. Alright, so that's everything you need to know to get this build up and running. And leave down in the comments what build you'd like me to do next. As usual guys, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.